Hey, how's it going, guys? Nerdy Steve here, back. We ended up doing on Saturday. Sorry, on Sunday we ended up doing the Carta Magica regionals, and this is what I ended up bringing. I ended up going 4-2-1. So for the Carta Magica regionals, there was no top cut. It was whoever ended up after like 7 to 8 rounds, whoever ended up undefeated was going to be the winner. Normally that happens around 8 rounds. We were thinking it was gonna go up to 9, but apparently by the 7th round there was already one person that was like undefeated the whole day, so they ended up 1 round early. So we did end up going 1/14th, so we did make it to the top 128. So if you guys do enjoy what you see and what we ended up building, make sure to leave a like down below if it does help me out. We decided to go into more of a rogue deck that I did not think that was gonna do. I personally thought it was just gonna be more of a fun deck that I was gonna enjoy playing cards that I did want to play with my favorite Digimons. And with this regionals being the first one for the BTA format, it did not have the structure decks. If we did have these structure decks, I would have been on the bandwagon, would have been playing like Imperial Dramon. Absolutely. I even had the structure decks ready to go on that Friday, but they decided on Thursday that because Canada was not getting the structure decks on time, that was only gonna be BT8 and below, no structure decks, no mulligans, and no side decks. So for that, we decided to build something on the fly. We only had really 2 days to prepare, and I decided to just go with something that I thought was gonna be a really fun thing to play as. We were expecting a lot of like yellow hybrids to be a thing. Like X Antibody was gonna be the top deck to be like contending Blackboard Greymon. A lot of people thought that they were going to win out since like Imperial Dramon is not there. Blue Hybrid was gonna be like running rampant. I did want to go over my like my matches. I did look up like a lot of people that I did play, and a lot of them that I did lost to, they just like ended up dropping or placed lower than me, which is so sad because I would have been able to actually like take it, and I was so upset about that. We did go 4-2-1. We won 4, we lost 2, and we tied once. Sorry, we tied once, we lost 2, and we won 4 times. Our first round was against the yellow hybrid. I expected this. The deck that I'm running does not do very good against yellow hybrid. Unfortunately, we go as slow as them, so they are able to recover. We were close. Our first match we ended up going into time. I did lose game 1. I almost won game 1, but at the very end, I didn't have enough like resources, and he just recovered at the very end where I couldn't put enough like bodies on the board to be able to push for game. But we did end up going that round. We ended up going 0-1-1. So because we went into time, game 2 we weren't able to finish, so he got the win there. The second round we went against the Beelstar. Beelstar was a little trickier because if I made it into the late game and he put a lot of pressure, like how we did game 2, I wasn't able to come back even though I recovered a lot. But game 1 and game 3, I put a whole lot of pressure. I had a guy in racing as much as I could, so that in next turn I could just swing and get that little bit of the ship damage. But Beelstar was always so scary. I believe game 3 I almost stacked out. Because game 1 he was playing like a Venge Kidmon, which threw me off, which he was able to give it up a body on the board as well with that. So that sucked for me because that ruined my whole plans for like for game 1, but I still managed to swing that in my favor. Round 3 we went against Blue Hybrid. That was our only draw, which we would have won if we weren't in time. We did win round 1. We did win game 1. We lost game 2 because we absolutely bricked. Like, it was like we had all level 4s and all level 5s in our hands. We could not do anything at all, and he just rolled like he just got like a whole lot of momentum. And when I did get my big bodies out, they were frozen turn after turn after turn, and I couldn't do anything about it. And I gave him so many memory because of the story Joe, so I couldn't do anything about that. So when we went into into time. I almost had game at my turn 3. At my last very turn, I almost had game, but he froze one specific thing the turn before, and I couldn't do anything about it. So that's. I did also ask at the wrong time because he kept saying that he froze something, which he didn't. But I had to. I wanted to clarify that he didn't, and he was like, "No, you're right." Because he went into Kuma. He thought he went into the Korikaku, but he went to Kuma into the Beowulfmon, swung, and died, and he thought that he froze it with the Korikakumon, and because I said that, he was able to play on another Korikakumon on top of a level 4 that he already had, and he froze on like the one thing on the field that like he thought he froze. So that was me being too polite, or just being honest, and then it would have been a whole thing like, oh, I did freeze. I'm like, you really didn't, but I didn't want to get into it, so I'm like, let me just be honest. It's the best way to play the game. So unfortunately, with me being super honest, we did go into time, and that was my only draw the entire day. Which is weird. I don't like going like into draws, but it's fine. Our fourth round, we went against another blue hybrid, freaking back to back. We did 2-0 them. Really amazing player. He just, I believe game 2 he kind of bricked. And I did too, but I had more resources on my side, which it did help me out. We both had to go like on top of our Davis, and we had to play a little more reckless, but because I recovered a lot, it helped out. Round number 5, round number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Round number 5, we played against another yellow hybrid. Really cool dude. Again, we went 0-1-1. Game 1, he took it at the very end. Game 1, he had like 10 securities, and I was plowing through them, but every time, figure my guy would die right after. So I just couldn't put enough pressure, and I actually like decked myself out. And like I told him like at the end of like game 1, when it was his turn, I'm like, bro, just pass turn. He's like, what you mean? Like, I had no deck. Like, oh, I didn't even notice. I'm like, yeah, so just pass turn. It's like, oh yeah, I'll pass, and then that's game. I'm like, all right, fine. Then the game 2 was literally 2 minutes already like into time, so we couldn't even play it out. Round 6, there was a no-show, so we got just a free win. Round 6, like 7, really amazing player. We played against like Shivamon. I have not played against a deck before, so that was a whole learning experience. All I knew is that I could not let that mon stay on the board, and there was a couple turns. He got to mill 2 of my securities because I couldn't do anything about it, and the fact that I couldn't game 2, when he put out a Shivamon, the only time that he had it out, it was when my hand was full of options, and I never had, and that has never happened to me where my hands were all like options. It hurts so bad because I'm like, I could bounce it back, I couldn't do anything. So that was my matchups. Going 4-2-1 on my first regionals feels really nice to be able to get the top 128. Like a lot of people say that's not a big deal. I have not placed top 128 at a regionals before, so being my first one, I'm really happy about it. But this is what I brought. I'm really happy about this build. We did spend like a couple of days on like kind of like reviewing it and trying to like test it out, and it was a good meta call because I didn't want to play like yellow or any of the mirror matches, and I did not play one mirror match all day. I was really happy about that. So we ended up running for the Digitamas. We ended up running 4 of the Digimons with jamming. There's a lot of the jamming in this build, and I would always just swing with jamming just to get the small chip so that I don't have to do it like later in the game. Even if my guy stays like sideways, if I know that they can't do anything against it, I just try to take a hit and then try to do something else afterwards. And then we played the one Upamon just to get the draw whenever we can. Against the blue hybrid, I was able to get the draw, so that helped out a lot. That's for the eggs. Next, we're playing my favorite like Digimon, 4 of the jamming Vmons. So I almost played like Armor Rush, but I'm glad I didn't because playing against yellow was bad. But I wanted to play these so bad because I had 4 of these either way. So and this with the Demi Vmons, I was always drawing a card. It always helped out, and just like putting that pressure on the board where they know that if you leave this on board, I'll get another hit in, and they just wouldn't let me do that, or like they'll try to waste their resources to get rid of this, and that means that they weren't attacking like my security. So we played 4 of that Vmon, and we played 4 of the structure deck Vmons, not the new Vmons because like those weren't allowed, but the structure decks for like all 4s. One of my opponents thought that I was playing all 4s. I'm like, no, dog. We only played it for the like inheritable for when you attack. If you have like 7 or less cards in hand, you draw a card. I've drawn so many cards off of this because I would forcibly use a Hammer Spark. A lot of people's like, why? I'm like, I will forcibly use a Hammer Spark, put myself to 2, swing with whatever I have, draw a card, and then go into the DNA Devolution, and I'll still have 2 memories to work with, or to like shock them to 1. And if that turned out I was still going to use the Hammer Spark either way to put them to 1, it helped out no matter what. And we'll run 4 of the BT8 like Vmons, where you look at the top 4 and you grab any 2-color blue card from the stack to your hand, like from the top 4. This has come in handy so much. I would whiff a lot, but I did up my count for the 2-color blue cards. I do not really care for this card. It helped a lot in this deck, but I'm like, I always felt I never wanted to like hard play it, but it's fine. It worked a lot. It worked really well. And the last one is the Vmon that if I like unsuspend, like I draw a card in the main phase. I never use this. The thought process, like I am running the Magnamon, so the thought process that like I was able to like swing on suspend, but like I never swung with this, and also there was no instance that I needed to like unsuspend, so that didn't really help out as much. So this could have been any other Vmon, or like any other, well, not any other, I think the only other Vmon that there is the EX one. So like this could have been any other blue card, blue rookie, and like it would have been just fine. That was the only like dead like Vmon like that was a rookie, but I kept all Vmons on purpose just in case of the Magnamon. But like besides that, it didn't really help. So for the champions, we were running 4 of the EX1 like X Vmons. He has jamming, and he gives jamming to anything that's free in his trait, or a Impildramon. One of our DNA Devolution is free. It's a free typing, or has a free in its trait, so it gave the jamming to our level 5s. Plus I would just like often put this on top of the like the Vmons just to get the jamming. This Vmon could have been a Patamon, the new one that at the end of the turn I can like DNA Digivolve. That would have been helpful at times. Actually, a lot of times it would have been helpful, because like there's times where like I would have to leave these out there past the turn and hope that they come back to my turn. I have swung with this so many times. It's so helpful, and there's times that like I never see it and I really want to see it again. 4 of the like Kilomons. The thought process of this deck was, I can't play Impildramon, let's play yellow like Impildramon, where these act like the Stingmons from the structure deck, except I'm able to clear boards with this card, which is amazing. It helped me out so much. It does cost you only 3 if you have a blue Digimon in play, which a lot of times you do, since pretty much your low counts are all blue, and all of the other stuff that's gonna be on like in this deck is gonna have blue in the other side. So a lot of times I would just drop this when I'm at 3, swing with like Hex Vmon, then like DNA Digivolve to swing again with jamming, and during the like inheritable, it gives like something on the board -3000 if you have a blue, and if we have a blue Digimon in play. So it doesn't have to be the Joggerous one or the like DNA Digivolution one. It can just be on the board. So that's really helpful. Like in Kilomon, really good. It's no Stingmon. It doesn't let you draw cards, but for what it does really well. we're playing 2 Digimon. I did want to bump this up to 3. I did see it when I wanted to see it. When I was at 3 security, it helped us so much. I practiced so many times, ridiculous. And like, wait, so you're recovering, then drawing, then you recover again? Like, yeah, like that's exactly how it works. Because we were playing like these Shakkoumons, we would recover twice. So a lot of times they will put us to 3. I'm like, all right, promote Angemon, jump down on Kilomon, DNA Digivolve before I draw. I recover 1, DNA Digivolve into the Shakkoumon, draw and recover 1. I'm back at 5, and I bounce back a level 5. Thank you very much. And also, his inheritable really came in handy against the Blue Hybrid, because I was able to bounce back their either the memory blocker or the Sukaimon, I think it is. The little clamshell, whatever it is. So you're able to bounce back a level 3 if you have 3 or more security, which is really good. Last but not least, for the 2 color cards, we have the Magnamon. It is a blocker. It goes on top of V1s for 3, just like the Animon can go like on top for 3. It did help me stall out a couple times, or like it made them. I made them force an attack so that I can either block it or not, or they just have to deal with this. And I just really wanted to play. I just pulled this one, and I really wanted to play it. So I'm like, this is my excuse. So it did work really well. And the last but not least, the Lobomon, super versatile. It has won me games. It has given me the blue that I needed for a DNA like the evolution. It just gave me another level 4. Yes, I will have to go like on top of Davis to do that, but it just helped out a lot when I needed it to. So having the one the level for game always helps out. Now to the level 5s, we have 3 of the Chimeramons. My friend told me to go 4. The Chimeramons, I absolutely love the card. For this build, I did not want to go full Chimera. The minus the P, if I don't have more than 2 colors in the deck, it wasn't worth it, in my opinion. Because then, if you go 4 or more colors, you're able to actually make them into the 12,000 beat stick. So that helps out a lot. But besides that, like giving everything like minus 3k plus having all of the like inheritables really does help out. XVmon does not give this jamming because this is not a free type. I believe this is a data type. This is a data type, yeah, or trait. So this never got jamming, but an AK swing, like into their like suspended stuff does help out. Plus it becomes every color, so it's always a blue and a yellow. So that a lot of times this is just great just to go like on top of something, and just to bring back either a dead like a Kilomon or like a dead like Angemon like from the trash. It helps out, and it gives me the second I need. The MVP of the entire day, Shakkoumon. The deck was built around the Shakkoumon. This thing with jamming, amazing. It recovers me 1. It gets rid of the level 5 or the level 6 on the field. When you're at 5, you're able to recover and you still be able to bounce something back. AK really low, yes, but if you're able to deal with threats on the board and they have to answer the Shakkoumon on the board that has like jamming plus a large stack. There has been times where like I would literally just let him swing like 2-3 times before they got rid of him, and they want to get rid of him super fast. And the recovery is great. Like the bounce is great. The inheritable did come in handy like a couple of times, because when he's in the graveyard, the Chimeramon can put him in the bottom of the stack and give give something on your opponent's board like minus 3,000. Really good. This just cleared like a board when it was all rookies, so that was great. But the Shakkoumon just giving that extra 3,000 like the reduction of like 3,000 was super helpful. Now to the level 6, 2 of the Seraphimon. It's recovery and it's aggression at the same time. 10k body, really low, but it did like come in handy. in a couple matches where I would just go into the Serafi on top of the Shakkoumon, um, recover 1, I'll be at 6, and while you have 3 or more the security, it gets the security attack +1, so I'm able to hit for 2 every single time. This is kind of like my thought process, like it worked like fighter mode, where instead of like swinging twice, I'm able to swing once, hit 2 checks. There was times where like I wish he was like fighter mode, where I'm able to like unsuspend, or if I was, or it was either run this or run the War Greymon. The War Greymon is always good, but it gets rid of my security. I like having the security. I like being more defensive, so this helped out a lot at me being like defensive and offensive. The War Greymon would have been a good call too, because then I would be able to get rid of bodies on the board, since he gives -6,000 plus the Shakkoumon, and the like Ankylomon would have been another 6,000, so that's 12, and I would have gotten rid of a lot of things on the board. But I didn't want to play that aggressive. I didn't feel safe going like into it. The one card that I think would have been good as a War Greymon, just because I don't think it did help me in the last round. I will give it that. In the last round, it made it so that I was able to actually bounce it back. Like Imperialdramon, Night Fighter mode can go on top of the Shakkoumon and the Chimeramon, because they are considered blue because of their stack. And the fact that he bounces back a level, he bounces back a 10k or less against the like Shivamon player. I had to swing at the security with the Shakkoumon, hope it lived, and then go into like Imperialdramon, give them a whole lot of memory, which paying the 5 hurt so much, but I was able to get rid of all of the Shivamon in play and put it back in the hand, where they had to go like Needhog to be able to like get rid of this card. I did got to swing twice with this once. That's cool. In this deck, I don't think you need it. It wasn't that helpful. This can be a War Greymon and be just fine, or like any other level 6 that's like yellow or blue. I did like it, but it was a very lackluster card. For the tamers, we're gonna be running 3 Davis because we are running blue, plus it's a memory tamer. Might as well display it. 80% of these guys are all blue. It got me my like Endermons, it got me my Vmons, it got me the Shakkoumon when I needed it, so that's really helpful. The other tamer that caught a lot of people off guard, and it was more like of a choice of like, I was running Davis and Ken. I played a couple games with Davis and Ken, did not like Davis and Ken, so I'm like, wait, what works like Davis and Ken? So I played 2 Codys. Whenever I played this, my opponent was like, huh? Or whenever they start like from me searching, they were like, what are you playing? Like, what's going on? I'm like, whenever I swing with something, oftentimes it will be with like Endermon, with the Shakkoumon, or the Chimeramon. Okay, so I can get rid of bodies on the board while swinging with those as well, or I can get over a like a 7,000, or I can get over a Rapidmon with like Endermon, and when I swing over it, it will like armor pierce still hold the -2,000 from Cody, and I'll be able to kill the Patamon along with it. I think the only time I wasn't able to do that is when they Rapidmon on top of a Bushiagamon, which hurt, but you know what, it's fine. Plus, at the start of your turn, if you have a yellow Digimon in play, like Cody lets you gain 1 memory, so that actually helped out a lot for me starting off at 4 memory instead of 3. For the option cards, I'm running 3 of the blue memory boost, because there are like no mulligans in this like meta. Plus, not only one deck is running the memory blocker, 2 with the Gazimons, but 1 or 2 decks are running the memory blockers. These just become free, and there has been time where like I would be at 1, or like I'll be at 1 or 0, and I'll just pop the memory boost I already have to play another memory boost so I can dig further into my deck. and find the pieces that I need to next turn like the energy evolve. This is a very set up deck where you are going to rely a lot on the like Shakkoumons. So having the blue memory boost really did help, and whenever I was like at 2 or like at 1 or 2, I just needed to get up to 3. A lot of times I just need to go up to 3 so I can drop down the Shakkoumons, and the blue memory boost absolutely helped. Amazing card. I'm glad that now we are switching over to a lot of the memory boosts in pretty much every single deck, especially with no mulligans. This smooths out your draws a lot more. We're only playing 3 Hammer Sparks. 3 Hammer Sparks because it was either run the Hammer Sparks or run the like blue memory boost. But definitely it really did come in handy. Like a lot of times I would just play it to kind of like I would try to choke my opponent out, and the Hammer Spark just made it more easier to do that, as well as if they put me at 2 and I needed the 3, it absolutely helped out a lot. We are playing 1 of the Ice Wall. Love this card. So glad it's at 1. It absolutely needed to be at 1 because this helped me out so much. It stalled enough for me to do what I needed to do. But like Ice Wall, like everyone knows what it does. And last but not least, we're playing 2 of the V Wingblade. There's no Mega Death. So instead of playing the Mega Death, I needed to play something to get rid of if I face either the Blackboard Greymon or I faced like X Antibody. And they hit this in the security, I'm able to just bounce it back. Against the Chivamon player, I believe my hand was like this and like a Davis. I'm like, I can't do anything. I have to draw into something. But the like a lot of people were like asking like, why don't you draw the Cactus Breath? Breath cost 7. V-Wing cost 6. It bounces back a level 6 or lower. Cool. Breath like will bounce back like anything. I haven't seen a lot of level 7s as of late, so it didn't really matter. And there was nothing that I could have really done if they have like a level 7 out, so was fine. And like it did what it did, so it wasn't that bad. Breath would have been better if I had more memory, but being on like 7 versus 6, I don't know. So that's what I took for the Carta Magica regionals. I know this a little bit more like extended because I went over my like actual like pairings, but hope you guys enjoyed, and I can't wait to play with the structure decks. I cannot wait to play like Imperiodromon that I'm probably gonna be playing on Saturday for the Ghost Cup. So hope you guys stick around, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Like until next time, guys. Bye.